My name's Justin Christensen. I grew up in Mapleton, so probably 5 years ago, I seen a couple projects in Springville that Mike was doing. Then just saw some stuff, online, saw some of the stuff on, Instagram, some of the ad stuff. I've previously owned other businesses. I also own some other real estate, so just was kind of curious. I think Mike's approach is very unique. He has a way of getting people involved where, other people in the real estate, just want to take your money and just want to have you as a limited partner. Mike wants to teach you. He wants to show you how and answer your questions and let you learn. You can learn as much as you want or as little as you want. And, one of the things Mike says is ask a lot of questions, so he's willing to answer those questions if you ask him. I liked, one of the things we talked about yesterday morning was, what's a signal and what's a noise? And are you a signal to other people? Are you their signal? Or are you noise? And cutting through the noise to get to the signals will get you the results. And then focusing, looking around you, looking around your day, looking at how you operate, looking at how you, run your business, operating from more signals and less noise. Outside of that was ask the right questions. Really, dig into yourself, even asking your questions of what's your why, and then how to change your inner thought process to get to a better outcome. And then just asking questions in general. Just you need to be asking the right questions, asking more questions, being curious. I think the time part is, you got to you only have so much time. So looking at your signals versus your noise, you got to really focus on what's your moneymaker. And that's what we talked about yesterday is, looking at your day, what do you do that actually drives revenue? What is your employees or different parts of you that drive revenue? What do you hate? Maybe get rid of the noise, focus on what's driving revenue and go in that direction. And I think, as far as investing passively, I think it's important to learn the business you're investing in rather than, I think Mike does a good job of explaining, and you're not necessarily just like a limited partner, you are a partner, you vote, you're on the calls, you're learning, you get all the same documents. You don't just, get a, once a quarter email. It's about just expanding your mindset. Mindset's everything, and just learning what principles that the ultra wealthy do to expand their mindset. They're laser focused. And so how can we apply those in our lives to become bigger and better at what we do? So I think it's really a mindset type of situation. And last night, Mike really got into personal development as far as what some inner things, what some childhood traumas, what's some things holding you back that you have never dealt with. And get in there, let those go and move on. The thing that sets Mike and Summa Terra apart is the knowledge. We're here this weekend through other trainings and other stuff is to teach. Most other developers want to get investors to invest money. And that's kind of where the buck stops. They don't really want to teach. They don't want to get the investors' feedback. They don't want to create a partnership. Whereas Mike values input and likes to teach.